Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Peachy and this channel is all about my Sylvanian families collection. For today's video, I wanted to share with you my spring/summer setup that I've done on my long display table. The theme I've gone for this time is a fete. For anyone who hasn't seen one of these kind of setup videos before, within my Sylvanian room I have a long display table or a slightly bigger display table that I tend to do a rotating seasonal scene on. There's a playlist on the channel with previous videos. Usually there's kind of spring, summer, something for autumn or Halloween, and then something for Christmas. I also like to take the opportunity to share a bit more of the kind of background lore of my village as part of these videos. So for this scene particularly, fetes are quite a common occurrence in my village. They start around Easter time when the weather's improving and they end with the harvest festival in the autumn. If you've watched the previous Christmas video, you'll know there is a frost fair in the winter, but it's more like a Christmas market than it is a fete. The fetes offer differing stalls and activities depending on the time of year. The one we're visiting today is the May Day fete. It celebrates spring truly having arrived and all of the flora and fauna in the village. It's usually held halfway between the spring equinox and the summer solstice, or the longest day. So let's go in and look at the scene more closely now and see all the little details. Starting as always from left to right, in the background of the scene we can see a large marquee has been set up. Inside we have a bric-a-brac or jumble sale on the right and a flower competition on the left. Throughout April and May, the annual Sylvania in Bloom festival is happening. There are many events and competitions as part of this, but the competition being held at the May Day fete is for the best potted plant, shrub or flower. So here we can see Sorrel Cottontail and the Mayoress Wanda Wadlington. Sorrel runs a flower shop in the village and she's head of the committee for Sylvania in Bloom. She has a very keen interest in gardening and all things botanical, and she's here taking the Mayoress through all the different entries so that the Mayoress may then select the winner. On the other side of the marquee, we can see all manner of items on display that have been donated by the villagers to be sold on, with the proceeds going towards various charitable and fundraising efforts in the village. There's everything from homeware, books and magazines, to lovely china sets and dolls' houses. Aaron Cottontail and Albert Solitaire are running the sales with customers browsing. You may have noticed lots of the villagers are wearing their best for this fete. Whilst there's no strict dress code in place, the villagers often tend to take the opportunity to dress up and wear their fanciest outfits. Then coming forwards we have Mr. Puddlefoot with his classic and ever popular hooker duck stall. It's a staple at most every event in Sylvania where space allows. And here we can see Freya and Coco Chocolate are trying their hand, but not to worry as there is a prize guaranteed every time. Coming along slightly, we can see the maypole has been set up and there's a crowd gathered round to watch the traditional dancing. Usually children from the schools will take turns, and here at the moment we have Abby and Poppy. Their dresses were specifically made by Roxy Reynard over at the Dressmakers. She's been making the dresses for this event for years. The music is captivating and it even seems to have drawn the attention of Nelson, Puddleford, and Albert, who are looking up from their other duties. Coming to the back of the scene again, we can see a smaller marquee has been set up, also in the blue and white theme. Here we have Veronica and Melinda Cakebread with various sweet treats from the village cake shop. Veronica is serving the customers whilst Melinda is making additional stock. She's also giving live demonstrations of some of the simpler creations to make. Mrs. Puddleford is there with her ducklings and they're buying some sweet treats, and Mrs. Persian is round the side with Melinda and she's very intrigued by the demonstration going on at the moment, something for her to try out at home later. Coming along to the front again, we have a table set up for a drawing competition. There's a wonderful array of prizes from Betty's Toy Wagon to be won here. The Tilbury children, Molly Biscuit and Winton Dale are all taking part at the moment. Each is working very hard on their own designs. There's colourful paint as well once they've finished their pencil sketching to finish their lovely artworks. The Mayoress will again select a winner here. She usually has the duties of selecting winners for the various competitions. We can also see the whole Macy's family here, minus Grandma and Grandpa, who are busy taking care of the Applewood department store. They're arriving and they're heading to watch the maypole dancing first. Moving back, we can see the central point of the fete, a temporary stage that's been put together by Eric Reynard, who is the village's carpentry and DIY expert. Here, lots of events and showcases take place throughout the day, and Mayor Bill Wadlington is the Master of Ceremonies. There's quite a crowd gathered round for the next act, which is the Nursery Brass Band. Cecil Maces is front and centre to get lots of shots for a multi-page spread in one of the village newspapers, the Sylvanian Times. The children have been practising their instruments very hard for this big day, so let's wish them a successful performance. If you have a look more closely at the crowd, you can see lots of proud mums and dads all around. Then coming along again, we can see 3 tables set up for a teddy bear's picnic. There's plenty of food on offer, and all the guests have brought along their teddies to enjoy a day out. At the first table, we have the Citrus Triplets and Noah Biscuit. At the second, we have the Sunflower family. And at the third, we have the Tailbury and Bamboo twins, as well as Emma Dale. Tinker Tailbury seems adamant that her teddy Snowy should be the one to sit at the table rather than herself. And Emma is intent on giving Blue Bear lots and lots to drink. We then have Elsie with her ice cream cart, very popular, especially on such a nice day. She's even got a line forming. The ice cream comes from produce made on Highfields Farm and is known to be very fresh and extra creamy. It's very popular in the village, and general consensus is that it's the best ice cream in the village. Coming just away slightly, you can see Fraser and Whisper. They've gotten their ice cream and are heading back to Terry to watch Creme perform with the band. And then last but not least, we have the Bouncy Castle. It's another staple of events in the village where space permits. There's lots of children playing on here, but oh dear, it looks like Cane Bamboo has fallen over. At least the landing is very soft and he doesn't seem too upset about that. And that brings me to the end of the scene. It's not a huge one this time, but I've been wanting to expand on the Fete theme for a while. There's an older video on the channel with this kind of theme, but on a much smaller table, so I couldn't fit nearly as much in. So I wanted to expand on it and give it more of a proper story and more background lore for my village. Everything used in the scene is either Sylvanian branded or dollhouse miniatures, except for the bouncy castle, which I did sew myself from a pattern that's available on the Sylvanian storekeeper's website. Also, the little drawings I did make themselves, you could probably tell. Children's drawings is about the level of my artistic skills, so at least they look authentic. If there's anything that you've seen in the video today, a building, a set, even like a little piece, and you'd like to know where it comes from or which set it comes from or to place it, let me know in the comments and I will be glad to help you if I can remember. But that brings me to the end of today's video. I hope you've enjoyed having a look at my latest seasonal scene and hearing a bit more of the lore of my village. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I always love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye for now.